Just click record. Okay, it's recording now, I think. So first off, thanks Liz and Rosalie for making it, but anyone else who's watching it after, I hope you guys watch it either like before New Year's, so maybe later tonight or tomorrow, or just early in the new year, because obviously even though there's all this like hype around resolutions and people know they set them and they don't stick to them, I still think it is a great time to like reset goals, because it's just natural, right? Like as much as we don't want to be in that cycle of like setting goals and then not following through on them, it is a natural time of year for us to like think about what we want to achieve in the next year. And I think that it's kind of silly to like A, not take that opportunity, and B, to just pretend like it doesn't happen. Like a lot of people, I don't know about your social media feeds, but lots of people of mine are like, don't set resolutions, and I don't believe in this, and I don't set goals. And I don't know. I just think like, why not capitalize on the momentum that you feel right now? Of course, lots of stuff doesn't necessarily follow through. And hopefully I can give you some tips to help you make sure that what you want to achieve in 2019 has a more higher likelihood of following through on it. But I think it's silly to just like avoid it altogether and say that it's just not anything you're going to focus on. Okay, so I, at my health retreats, do like a much longer goal setting workshop where we have probably like 45 minutes to an hour where people can like sit down and really think, because it really is the key. Like I know, Rosalie, you have 2 kids, right? Yeah, so like trying to sit down and like think about what your goals and what you want to do can be like incredibly challenging if you have like little people pulling on you for your time and your demands. So I will try and keep this short so that if you guys want to implement it, you just need like 10 or 15 minutes. Maybe you can like lock yourself in the bathroom or like while they go down for a nap or something. But basically, if you okay, so let me start back one step. If you don't know what it is you want to do for next year, what I do actually I do it every 6 months, is I get a piece of paper. This is prompted from my passion planner, and I just love the process, so I advocate for it, and I always tell people about it. Basically, I get a blank piece of paper, and in the middle I put today's date, and I set the timer for 5 minutes. And there's like 4 quadrants of the paper, obviously. So on the bottom right-hand side would be things I want to accomplish in a month. On the bottom left-hand side would be things I want to accomplish in 3 months. On the top right would be 1 year, and then the top left would be like in my lifetime. And I just set the timer to 5 minutes, and I just like free flow, let whatever's in my brain come out. Because if I only think about what I want to accomplish next year, there might be things that come in my head where I'm like, oh, I don't know if I could do that next year. But at least if I just do like this open-ended time frame, then at least I can like park it somewhere. I can always revisit it, and it just like, it makes for a little bit more organic brainstorming. I find personally, if I can just like, whatever comes in my head of things I want to do, and then it's like, okay, is that realistic for 3 months? Is that more of like a 3-year thing? I can just kind of put it around the paper like that. So then once I've done 5 minutes of that, then I kind of look and pick out a goal that is like, would be the most impactful or the most meaningful for me. So, and obviously when I'm talking about goals here, these can be health oriented, or they can just be like anything in life, business, career, relationship, whatever. But anyway, so you choose one of those goals. Now you might already know something that you want to achieve in 2019. When you think it's already the next year and then you go to talk, so I'm like, wait, are we in 2019? Like I keep getting confused of where this year is. Anyway, you might know what you want to do in 2019 already, which is cool. So then maybe don't even worry about the brainstorming thing if you already kind of know what you want to do. So then what I would do, put a fresh sheet of paper, put the goal at the top, write it down. And then I think the first key is to ask yourself why that goal is important. And like literally write the goal underneath it, put why is that important? And then answer it. And I would like do that 5 times. And it's super awkward and really forced if you've never done this with your goals, but it really helps you get down to the reason why the thing is important to you. So, like I've done it for a number of things in my life, health, career, whatever. And I think that it's so often I meet with people and they're like, I want to lose 20 pounds. And it's like, why? Why is 20 pounds important to you? Why is that meaningful? And I think if you just stay at the surface of I want to lose 20 pounds, it's very easy to get distracted from that goal because you don't have a deeper motivation to it. So if there's some potential health concerns, something genetic in your family that you like really want to avoid, or maybe you just like used to be able to do XYZ and you can't do it anymore, and that's really frustrating, and you like the way your body felt when you could go hiking for 4 hours, or I don't know, whatever the thing is. But when you get down to like the deeper reasoning and you keep asking yourself why and why and why, it just gets to such a deeper motivation that's much easier to think back on to connect to when motivation wanes, because it always does. It, like, nobody's motivation stays up here. It always goes up and down, and you need to have a strong enough driver that when you're on the down, it can pick you back up and keep you going. Maybe not pick you up, at least keep you trucking along in that same direction. So on that one piece of paper, I mean, you can, if you want to just set the framework, write the goal at the top and then write why 5 times. And every time you answer that question, then stop and ask yourself, like, why is that previous thing important? Write the answer. Why is that previous thing important? And I'm a huge paper person, and I just think that there's so much value in writing down on a piece of paper what your goals are, and working through this exercise with the pen and paper as opposed to just mentally doing it. So much easier to get distracted. We're just way more purposeful when we're writing it down, and we tend to retain it way more in our brains. And then often I want a paper record of it because I want to revisit it and look at it later. I want to know what I was thinking. I want to like refresh my brain as to why this thing was important to me. So I highly suggest the paper piece. So now you have your goal, you have like why it is important to you. And then the follow-up, or the third piece to this, is grab a fresh sheet of paper, put your goal at the top or whatever, somewhere on the page, can be in the middle. And then I set my timer for 5 minutes and brainstorm the multitude of steps that are necessary to achieve that goal. So it's not just like, I want to lose 20 pounds. What do you have to do to lose 20 pounds? I probably have to meal prep. I probably have to stock my freezer with some healthy options so I have dinner when life is really busy and I don't have time to cook. I maybe need to get a membership at a gym. Maybe I need to buy a new sports bra because mine's like 15 years old and it just isn't going to cut it. Maybe you need new shoes, or you need a workout buddy, or you need some accountability, or you need some guidance in the gym, whatever it is. Like, you want to break down the steps that are necessary to achieve that goal into as many super small pieces. And just like brainstorm and let them come out of your head and write them on the paper. And if you write down a goal and you're like, well, okay, so let's say you're like, well, if I want to lose 20 pounds in the year, I need to lose, or whatever, 20 pounds in 4 months, I need to lose 10 pounds by 2 months. And you're like, well, how the heck am I going to lose 10 pounds in 2 months? Like, you need to be specific. It needs to be, when you look at it, you could be like, check, yes, I know exactly how I'm doing that thing. And if it's too big, then you need to break it down smaller. And if you don't know how to break it down smaller, then you might need to like Google something, outsource, reach out to someone who does know how to do the thing so that you can figure out what are the steps necessary to get there. So I do this for another 5 minutes, kind of brainstorm all the steps. I have this piece of paper with my goal in the middle, and then all of these steps all the way around it. And then I go, after the 5 minutes is up, I go through and I number them 1 through, let's say 30 things came out of my head. I number them 1 through 30. And then on the back of the paper, I kind of list them in chronological order. Now I have like my framework of exactly what I need to do. If you're feeling so inclined and you're like major planner person like me, I will put dates next to each deliverable, each thing that I want to do, and then I will write those things in my passion planner or my agenda so that I have them in there. It doesn't mean I stick to them 100%. It sure as heck keeps me way more focused and way more on task than if I didn't have them in my planner at all, because maybe I'm flipping through and February comes around and then I see it and I'm like, oh shoot, I said I was going to do that thing and I haven't even started that thing, so I better get going on it. And maybe, hi sweetie, maybe the deadline gets pushed by a week or 2, but it's way more likely to happen the fact that I wrote it in my calendar, as opposed to me just doing this brainstorming thing in January, having this goal and then not following through on it at all. And not having any sort of like reminder as to why I want to do the thing. So for me, this is part of the reason why I love my passion planner, because at the end of every month, it nudges me to like review and reflect on the month gone past. So I use that as an opportunity to look back on my goals that I set and kind of like keep them front of mind. So whatever you use, just maybe put like a marker in there, a reminder to like review goals. Maybe it's every month, definitely at least at the minimum every 6 months. Or if you're an electronic person, just put like a automatic reminder in your calendar to just pop up and like refresh it, because you need to just like reread it and you need to keep it front of mind. I have like little pieces of paper like near my desk, in the bedroom, all around, so I'm always like seeing the things that are important to me, whether it's like a quote or my goal or something. I don't know. I just have lots of visual cues because I'm a very visual person, and that just helps to keep me more focused. So for me, I like having the deliverables, having the dates, putting it in my calendar, and then I have my plan. So for me, let's say keep with the like weight loss plan. If you know that you're going to like cook your healthy meals, you're going to stock your freezer once a month maybe, then when you look ahead at your calendar, you're like, okay, so I need to go get the groceries on Saturday, so I have the groceries in the house on Sunday, so I can meal prep and make a couple big pots of soup so I can freeze those so I have them for the next month for lunches. So you can plan ahead a little bit better, because it's really hard in anything, but certainly in health related goals, to achieve them being reactive. Really, you need to be proactive. You need to like plan ahead, because there's so much in life that we can't control. There's so many things that are going to come up that are going to throw us off of our plan, and that should be expected. But we should at least try to plan for the things that we know. Like, you probably know at your work when the busy season is. You probably know what evenings you might have to work late, or you might know what weekends you're going away with girlfriends, so you're not going to be eating the healthiest, you're going to come home and be tired. Like, you can plan for these things, or if your kids have soccer in the evening or whatever. So plan for the stuff you know about, and then you can adjust for the other things that you aren't aware about. Like, when they come up in the moment, then you have a little bit of more flexibility, a little bit more mental bandwidth to be able to deal with the challenges, because you've taken care of all the other stuff. And that's like, I know, Liz, because you obviously work in the event space, it's like basic events 101, right? Like, plan for everything you can so that you can deal with the fires as they come up.
Yeah.
So, oh, look at that. Rosalie, you have to unmute your thing and tell me what your daughter, is your daughter? I can't see. They just popped up very quickly.
Yeah, my daughter, Leah.
Leah? Hi, Leah.
Leah, you want to say hi?
No. Do you want some screen time? Oh, guess not. Only when we're not paying attention.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay, so that is like super express goal setting and 101. I will attach in the Facebook group, I'm going to put, or maybe I'll send you guys an email with a link to this video, and I'll put it in the Facebook group as well. And then I have a sheet that has like the 5 whys and then a goal planning PDF. I'll just put those in there in case you guys want to use them. You can obviously just use a regular piece of paper as well, but if, I don't know, you want it like pretty with the color formatting on it, then you can just use that if that's a little bit easier. The other thing that I wanted to mention to you guys and anyone else who's obviously going to watch it later is that, so we have, what is today, the 29th, like 3 more days left in the year. And I put that survey in the group asking people like kind of what you wanted, what was important for you for your goals, and where you struggle and where you want to kind of help. And based on that, and talking with some people, I've decided to launch something similar to this on an ongoing basis. So I'm going to call it, because my whole thing is on Take Back 20 and take 20 minutes for yourself consistently to improve your health. So normally I just do this in December, but now after consideration, I feel like there's a lot of value in having a community that you can check in with on an ongoing basis that can keep you accountable. To Sonia's point, I think if you like look back in the Facebook group, like in the first week or first 10 days, she messaged being like, oh my God, I'm eating everything. I can't do anything. Like, this challenge is shot. And then because I was like, no, keep going. You can do something. Like, what can you do? Eat your veggies, have some water. And then she like turned it around, and now is like her momentum and her adherence to like being healthy even in December has totally switched. Whereas like it would have been just so easy to just throw in the towel right there. And so when I think about my perspective on health and fitness and how I like to work with people and how I really am for long-term results and not focusing on just like a 16-week like get beach body ready or whatever, I think an ongoing monthly program is the best way that I can help people in the long term. So if you guys are interested, I'm going to be doing, I'm going to like offer it to you guys first at a lower price point before I promote it out to my bigger list. And basically monthly group like this, there'll be 1 coaching call a month instead of bi-weekly, or not bi-weekly, instead of weekly. Obviously this was a little bit more like, what's the word I'm looking for? Intense is the wrong
Intensive.
word. Oh, okay,
Intensive.
thank you. This was a little bit more because it was like December and it was like the first one, but I think it'll be once a month we'll do a group coaching call with a different focus. There'll be like a different challenge or focus area each month. There'll be 2 workouts that I'll give you guys each month, as well as like recipes and any sort of like workshops or group coaching calls and stuff like that. I will record them as well so you can watch them back on your own time. There will be the Facebook group, which I think is super valid not, it is valid, but super useful. But then I also will have an online portal where I will like house all like the workouts and the recipes and the videos and stuff that you can log into separately, because some people aren't really Facebook people. So I just want to make sure it's accessible to everyone. But then also if you're like, I want to work out, I don't want to like scroll through the whole Facebook thing to try and find this thing, you could just log into the portal and go into the workout section and pull the workouts out that you want to do. So basically, what else do I need to tell you about this? Oh yeah, price. So it's gonna be only $32 a month for anyone in the Healthy Holidays who wants to join. 32 bucks plus GST. I think it's like $34. Once I launch it in January to my bigger list, it's gonna be 37 plus GST. So I'm gonna include the link in the Facebook group. If you guys click through, you'll see two options. The cheaper option is there. That one will be removed probably after like January 6th. So you have a little bit of time to register, and I will obviously remind you guys. But if you see both pricing options, obviously choose a cheaper one. I'm gonna like remove that one. But you know, it's really interesting as a sidebar, but like related to this, I just finished reading a really awesome book called Healthy at 100, which I highly, highly recommend you guys read. And they were just talking about different cultures and why some cultures people live so much healthier and it seemed to be happier. And in North America, we have just a way higher incidence of like heart disease and cancer and diabetes and arthritis and Alzheimer's and all of these diseases that are plaguing us. And so they were researching different communities as to like, why are these people living longer and healthier, and where are we going wrong kind of thing. So there's like, the book is fascinating. There's a ton of information in there. But one thing that they really mentioned was like the value of communities and how important that is, particularly in a lot of these other cultures. And that book was slanted a lot, obviously, to aging, because it's like how to live past 100, where like people are really connected into their community. And I think that that is a piece that is so key. It's certainly to this health loss, weight, you know, healthy living journey, whatever you want to call it. If you look at things like Weight Watchers, they have like community groups where you can go and connect with people. If you look at why CrossFit is really popular, yes, it's a hard ass workout and people usually adopt the paleo lifestyle, which is like, has some parameters around eating so people see results that way, but also there's a really strong community. Lots of yoga studios have community. So I think that that is such a key piece. And in the book, they talked about a study that they did with women who had breast cancer. They were around the same age, the same progression in cancer. And they did a study where one group just got the regular cancer treatment. One got, I don't know if they got no cancer treatment. They must have in the study. I can't even remember. But anyway, the third group got the cancer treatment and they had a community support group that they met with once a month. And the results were so shocking in terms of the their ability to surpass cancer that they were just saying, I'm totally butchering it, by the way. It's said much more eloquently in the book. But they said that if you could bottle and like create a pill that was as effective as the community against breast cancer, like people would be all over that. But it's such a missing piece that people don't realize. They try and do things alone and they try and just forge on and figure it out. And having that community to fall back on is so vital and key for many aspects in health. Obviously, this is a little bit not as dark as breast cancer, but I'm just trying to draw a few parallels because I just finished that book and it's really, really good. So anyway, if you do read the book, you'll see that section and you'll realize how much better that guy is at writing about it than I am about talking about it. Okay, so anyway, if you guys are interested, I'm going to post all this information in the Facebook group and of course send you an email out about it. If you do decide to join in the portal right now, there's not a lot of information yet because as we go each month, I'm going to like put the workouts in, put some recipe ideas, put like 20, and I'm trying to stick to this take back 20. So everything is going to be like 20 minutes or less, meal prep for 20 minutes, like easy breakfast you can make ahead of time to like make your morning a little bit easier. And really feedback from you guys too, like what other things would be helpful and useful for you that can help you in the long run. So that's my spiel. Does anyone have any questions / comments of the like 3 people who are on here?
Mm-hmm. Can I just share something that I found really helpful from the group that I'm actually sort of implementing in my goal setting for the year? This idea that you introduced, I think, in the very first week of the bare minimum. And I'm actually trying to incorporate sort of a bare minimum by month to sort of develop 12 new habits, if you will. And I think I told you when you and I were messaging back and forth last week that I'd already bought a paper planner because I did find that really helpful when I was trying to manage some stuff in school. So I'm trying to manage my non-work life on paper.
Yeah.
Including this stuff. But I've set already a few of the bare minimums that I want to achieve over the course of the year, and I'm looking at some more. But in addition to that, I've already set like at month end to review the last bare minimum while I'm setting the next bare minimum kind of thing. So I just wanted to share that in case it's helpful for anyone else in thinking about it that way.
Yeah, I so agree. I think that it's so interesting, like as a personal trainer and health coach, when I like work with people, like often people want like, give me all the stuff, I got to do all the things. And sometimes it's just like, no, just like slow down and do one thing and just do that one thing really well. So I love that, like just having one thing a month to kind of like your bare minimum, or your yeah, you can try and do other things, but at least if you get like distracted or you get discouraged or whatever the case is, you still have that piece, that pillar to fall back on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. And kind of building off of that on my, I do something similar, but not like in a health vein. I brainstorm 12 words of things I want to like focus or do, or like intentions, I suppose. So let's say like gratitude or happiness or energy or I don't know, like different words like that. And then once a month I put those in my calendar. So then each month I have like a different intention to kind of focus on. And it's so interesting because I do it now for the whole year, and I've done it for the last 2 years. And it's so fascinating when I like turn the page to like June and I'm like, ooh, June's focus is fun. Okay, awesome. And it just kind of like always, I don't know, because I'm creating that intention obviously and have it in my mind, it seems the month tends to like naturally kind of like flow to whatever intention I had put, but like, 6, 7, 8, 9 months ago. So I think that that's awesome that you're setting them for like the whole year. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone else have anything they want to add?
Sorry, I have to sneak out. My kids turned into a pumpkin, but I'm on board with everything. I'll catch the rest of the recording. Okay, bye.
Awesome. And actually, I have to say, like, I'm super impressed because often I'll do these like month-long programs or challenges or something like that, and they start out really strong and then people kind of like dwindle to the end. It's pretty quiet, but I have to say this group has been like really engaged, and people have been posting. Obviously in the beginning there's more excitement and momentum or motivation, and it does naturally wane a bit, but like actually you guys have been super engaged and continuing on all month, and I just love it, which is why I thought to create this. I'm calling it the Take Back 20 Tribe. So if you guys want to get into that, I'll post the link. Again, I'll probably give you guys till like January 5th or 6th to get in at the cheaper price if you want, before I up it and then promote it more widely in my email list and on social media. Yeah, so that's it. And I will post a video, and if you guys have any other questions or anything, post them in the group, and I'll leave the group active for a little bit in case people need to still get in there and watch videos and stuff like that. And Happy New Year, everyone.
Great, thanks so much. Sorry I've been, we were actually at the park. This is
You're amazing.
Playing basketball, and I went, oh God, it's 4 o'clock, and we were on our way back. And so then I turned on my phone so I could listen on the way back, and then of course my phone died. So then I jogged home and got on. But yeah, it's been a really great month. I feel so much better than I normally feel this time in December, and I really feel like I'm making different choices. So it's been wonderful because it's exactly what I need. Like the hardcore stuff I just don't do after a while, and then I'm like, well, I'm not doing any of it, so I won't do any of it.
Mm-hmm.
But this has been really doable, so it's been great.
Nice. Thanks, Jane. Thanks for sharing that.
And I see my patterns changing. Like I go places and I'm like, okay, where are the vegetables to eat? So yeah, it's been great.
Amazing. Hey, did you see the last video I posted that you won the prize?
I did. I'm very excited. That's awesome.
I'll bring it to you next time I see you.
That sounds great.
Cool. Well, thanks so much for sharing that, and for like juggling your life to make it work to listen in on the call. That's commitment. Oh, she's muted now. Okay. Well, anyways, bye, Liz, and anyone else who's listening on the replay. And Merry Christmas. That's gone. Happy New Year, and hope to connect with you guys in 2019. Bye.
Happy New Year.
Bye. Happy New Year.